Hi, I'm back. Week 38. This week was a lot happened that week. This week, that week, this week, that week, this week. Yeah, 38. Let's go. After emails Monday, we had a lesson discussion with some recent converts at the church, and that went pretty well. We gave her a blessing, and yeah. After we honestly had a little dinner with someone we were working with, did all that fun stuff. Monday, not much really happened, but you know, some things happen. Some days are just like that. As I've already like to talk about a lot, but yeah. Tuesday after studies, we went to the senior center, just trying to see if there's things we can do for them. And then we went to the library and did some online proselyting, kind of like some Facebook posting, and did some family history work for a little bit. And then we biked around and biked back to the apartment, and then we drove to Dyer and talked with the family a little bit, the one that we gave cookies to in last week's video. Talked with them for a while because we ended up having dinner. We had dinner with another member family not far from where she lived, and they had a goat in our house, and the name was Mocha Sassy. Was a little sassy. I give it that. It was kind of funny. The wife and some of the kids left. It was us, the husband, who's the Elders Quorum president. His name is President Stevens, and two of the youngest kids, and the goat in the house. He had the smart idea. He's like, "Hey, let's look like the goat knocked over the TV." And so they put the TV down, put the goat on top, and took a photo of it. It was a little rough at first, but we were able to do it. It was funny. Just the goat sitting on the TV. It wasn't like that. It wasn't on the screen part. No, the TV was fine at the end. That's the thing. The TV was fine. It was just, we made sure like nothing broke, but it looked like something broke because the TV looked like it fell over. But apparently when they came home later that night, one of the kids were watching TV and everyone's like, "What?" And then everyone was like, "Wow, funny joke." But during that, we ended up having Bible study at the Lampricks is what their name is, Lori's parents and all. And we gave Lori a blessing actually, and then after the blessing, she's like, "Do y'all put your hand on my shoulder?" And we're both like, No, we didn't." She's like, "Yeah, right when you were giving me the blessing, it felt like there was like a hand on my shoulder." I was like, "Dang, that's pretty nifty." And apparently as well, the other recent convert that we gave a blessing to, it was for her knee, and she's like, "Yeah, my knee hasn't been hurting all day." It was like, miracles, I'm telling you, the church is true. Please, it's great. And yeah, a little exciting moments to hear about that. And Wednesday was really an adventure, to say the least. Yeah, we were down in Bartlett. Because Elder Hunter had an LTM leadership training meeting. Yeah, this first week of May really just like smacked us with miles in the face. It was a real interesting, to say the least. And so I was there blitzing Bartlett. So we get up to Bartlett's. We get to Bartlett's apartment, and there's a few of us. There's me, Elder Hughes, which came out together, and then we had like 3 other people that like Elder Mote, Elder Bang, and Elder Larson. So there's 5 of us, and me and Elder Hughes are like the oldest because we've been out the longest, and because everyone else is like 4 months down, so they were pretty fresh. So we get there, we get to their apartment, we're just doing studies and all. We finish studies, and me and Elder Mote play a game of pool, because they have a pool table in their apartment. Jealous. And I ended up like crushing Elder Mote, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I kind of suck at it, because honestly, I'm not the greatest at it. And he's like, all right, I start going at it, boom, 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 and I'm like, what is this? I've never done this before. He's like, you're lying to me. It's like, no, I'm not. But yeah, I kind of crushed him, and then we're eating lunch and all. It's around like 12:10 at this point, and like we're eating, we're talking, having like joking around and all that. I look at the window. Next thing you know, and it's just pouring all of a sudden. And I'm like, Houston, we have a problem. Everyone turns, and it's like, oh, crap. We didn't prepare it for the rain. And so we were just kind of talking about it. And then someone's like, I don't want to use this jacket. And I was like, I'll take it, because I might as well just take it. I had my journal with me too. And I'm like, fetch, why did I bring it? But it was like, whatever. So I put on the jacket. We're all walking back. Everyone else just gets drenched. My pants get drenched, and I'm like, man, it was bad. But we were like, we took a video. We prayed before we left and whatever, and then we started walking, and then Elder Larson takes a video, and Elder Mote is like, we are in the middle of the rainforest. It's incredible. And he points at Elder Hughes, because Elder Hughes is like, this guy played for Lorraine to stop. It never worked. We're all just laughing. Literally, like when we ended the video, like a minute later, the rain stopped. We're like, see, it's the trial of our faith. But we got back to the church, and the 3, me and Elder Larson, were together, and the other 3 went out and went some finding in this certain area. And then we went out and did some contacting, and we messaged people and all. And then we just came back to the church. After the meeting was over, me and Elder Hunter had mission president interviews, and that was pretty good. That was a nice little conversation. And then we were driving home, starting to head back. We're like, man, we're hungry, so let's go get some food. So he misses it. Well, at first we were hungry, so he misses an exit, and he's like, crap, okay. So he takes another exit, and we're like, let's go get some Taco Bell, because Taco Bell's right over there. We go to Taco Bell, and we pass by a Waffle House, and he's like, well, we haven't been to Waffle House before, so let's try it out. So we go to Waffle House, we park, and we start walking, and then we start walking inside the building, about to walk inside the building, then we hear, y'all hungry? And we turn around, and we see a bunch of people, like, carrying this coolers. And we're like, sure. We go over there. It turns out to be Inglewood Baptist. Just like this big Baptist church in Jackson. And we start talking with them a little bit. So, and they gave us like these 2 containers, like 2 like takeout containers with like a hot dog, a hamburger, chips, and like a little snack thing or whatever. Because they're like going around to like motels and all that, just handing food out to people. And we're like, wow. We had a nice conversation with them and just kind of went our way. So that was a little blessing right there. Just like getting free food from another religion. Yeah, Inglewood Baptist. And then there's Bellevue Baptist, and then there's Sugar Creek Baptist. Sugar Creek Baptist is the biggest church here in Humboldt right now. Well, biggest church, a building I think I've seen in Humboldt. Bellevue's in Memphis. Apparently they don't really like us. I don't know. Yeah, then we just came home and finished eating that food and all that. Thursday was a good day. It really was. But at the end of the day, just kind of, man, it hurt. And I'll tell you why in a second. But we had district council in Dyersburg and talked about being bold and loving, because that's always something we can work on. Being bold and being loving at the same time. After that, we had lunch together as a district, and then we just drove back home. We swung by the house, grabbed our bikes, and started heading up back to Milan. We drove up to Milan, and we had another list to go through, and some others to like finish up. We had a lot of success again. Turns out as well, like, we're talking with someone, it's like, oh yeah, some such. Did you hear, like, there's stuff going about a tornado warning, or like tornado warning, tornado watch, huh? When did this happen? It was like earlier, like talking about some early in the morning. It's like, oh, that's probably why, because we weren't in Humboldt, because they do the sirens at like 12 o'clock on Saturdays, which I miss, like, because you always heard that in Holly Springs, just the sirens going off every 12 o'clock on Saturday. But apparently they went off in Humboldt and all that. But I looked around, I was like, I don't think it's gonna be tornado-ish, because it didn't look as bad at all. But literally, like, that, when Thursday was just everywhere, because then after we're still biking around, we come up to try this farmer as well. We're biking, we see these two dogs, we pass by them, and they start chasing us. And they're like trying to bite us. Literally, I pull out my pepper spray. Luckily I have my pepper spray with me. And I'm trying to, like, I try to shoot at this big dog that's on Elder Hunter's tail, about to snatch him. I try to shoot, I barely miss it, because it's like we're speeding down this road, and I'm trying to shoot, like, try to angle it just so I can hit him. I barely miss it, but luckily by the time we hit the bottom of the road, the house, the owners were just like that house, so luckily they went back to the house or whatever. But I was like, that was an adventure and a half. I can tell you that. But we were finishing up later on, talking with that person. We went out, did some more finding and whatever. We started biking back to the apartment, not to the car, and started heading up to head home. But we're biking around, and earlier that day we were trying to touch up my my brakes, because my brakes were acting up, because like my back ones especially just kind of like lock up a little much, or like won't loosen up much, so it's kind of hard to bike sometimes. And I was using the front one a little bit just to kind of to help with me braking, because I don't want to lock up the back one as much. We're turning, and we turn down this road. We continue on biking, and I try to start braking my front one a little bit. I ended up braking a little much, and I biff it. I straight biff it, and literally it happened so fast. And literally I end up on the floor, ripping my gray suit pants that I was wearing, just because we didn't have enough time to switch. I don't think neither of us switched our suit pants. And biff it, I rip a hole in my left, and I just got all these scars like, they're all healed now just because of how long it's been, but I have the scar here. You can still kind of see it here-ish. Like, I got, like, stuff right here. My hand was bad. You can see that spot. That was the, like, worst. I got stuff up here. Had little things right there, too. Had things, like, right there. I was just scraped up. My knee was bad, too. Luckily, others were around, and I was able to patch up a little bit. But, man, I came home, and I was just, like, I was down, honestly. I was like, oh, this sucks. I guess it was like kind of like, I guess it's what people call like hurting your pride and all that. It probably was, but it was just like, it sucked. Like, I literally biffed my bike. I'm not saying it was like embarrassing, it just sucked. I like during the time I hit the ground, I just come out, I started laughing. I was like, wow, what the heck just happened? But luckily, it could have been worse, honestly. But Friday was interesting too. We were gonna do exchanges and all. Well, we did, but the problem is we get a call. It's like, hey, can you guys drive down to Millington because we still don't have our car. Apparently, they got it fixed for some reason. And we're like, oh, okay. So we drive down to Millington, which is miles and a half, and we start exchanges. We do some weekly planning together, and then I drove with Elder Lee back to Trenton, which Elder Lee was previously here before he moved to Stuttgart, and now he became zone leader in Millington, and then during Trenton, during Humboldt, the Trenton area, we visited someone for a little bit, and then we kind of knew about some service going on, but we weren't sure it was final. We were up in Milan and had a few discussions with people, talked with people in a little bit, and then we got the call about that service, so we drove to the member's house, kind of switched over to our clothes, and we got a ride to. We drove down to Medina with them and helped this person that knows a couple members with like moving some gravel thing onto like this bag thing, and that was pretty cool. I switched back at the church clothes while we were there. And then we surprised the Lampricks with Elder Lee, and they're all excited to see him and all. And just came home and ended the day there. Then we did some studies Saturday, and we just kind of ended exchanges in bells, yeah. And we saw a lot of people preparing for preparing a lot of people for the Strawberry Festival, and which was going on the next week, and we came back and did some things in the study room. Drove to Milan and did a couple little fishing. Didn't catch anything, but it was fine. And we answered questions to the person we were working with while we were there, and we answered some more questions throughout the day, and then they just came home and did call-ins. And Sunday rolls around. Sadly, again, no one came to church because the people who want to go to church are either not there or still in the hospital and all that, or still trying to recover. And we visited someone we were working with and gave him like a CD, Book of Mormon CD card, a Book of Mormon CD, so he can listen to the Book of Mormon a little bit. And we did some weekly planning. We had dinner at Medina, in the Medina with some members, and then we did Bible study in Milan. And then we had Collins, and during that time we also watched a devotional that happened, and we also celebrated a birthday too, and we came home and crashed because we're tired. But yeah, it was an interesting week, a lot of ups and downs, but you know, it's just what happens. Thankfully, I'm a lot better now with the marks and all, but you know, things are what things are. You do what you gotta do. Talk to y'all next time. Bye.